Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another casted series between Batu and Chosen. This is the round of 16. Chosen just finished the matches versus Pump on the qualification round. These guys are playing just straight after, so Chosen is playing back to back. Batu's kind of knew a little bit what Chosen was up to, so he might have some expectations. So a couple matches already have been played. People know what to expect more or less from Sweden as well. So it's going to be interesting here. And we have Batu playing Sweden here as in the pink color just down the south. And on the north side of the map, we do have Chosen AoE playing as the Dutch and the color cyan or teal, whatever you might call it. I also have Antinomi here to cast with me. Take a think. So you have I am from Denmark. Okay. What's the name of this boy? Mr. Strupelwaffel. Okay, I don't get it. Specifics for the map. So Sweden, we have 2 mines here. Is this Mexico? It is, right? Yeah, so isn't that the best to play on Savannah, like the Sweden for Savannah, and I would leave. Yeah, I think he sort of predicted that Chosen would have played Dutch on this map. Yeah, well, it was a blind pick, so he's a big gumbo, yeah. And also the Dutch, you know, you can come with a lot of dragoons, but we've seen that sometimes having a counter unit doesn't really work sometimes. So let's see, they might have a chance for Chosen. It's not like it's straightforward, like, oh, this unit counted this. Kerms needs to be kiting units, and it takes a lot of time to kill a dragoon with a lot of HP. So exactly, yeah, on the long term as well, I think Dutch is slightly better. You have to replenish the torps. You have to send in the blackberries. You have to send maybe some new mines. So at some point, torps stop being that good, and then the economy will switch back to Chosen. So that is a gap where Chosen has to survive if it goes to the later stages, and then later on, the Dutch will just be much better, especially depending on what you actually do. You can actually come up with a strategy that you can actually have more than 7 banks. You know, we've seen that we can actually do we can go something like South Africa and get maybe 11 banks. You can even send Amsterdam and Rotterdam. So let's see. He also have, yeah, that would be fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Batman should get 100 food here, but Chosen just gets 65 wood, so he's gonna really help here with the banks. We do have a standard deck. We do have the native warriors card just in case, but it's not gonna be access to any natives anytime soon. Also has the Belanda Hitam. That gives him Zakan Akobias, 12 of them, and 3 native embassy travois. Very interesting card here for the Dutch. Also has the advanced American. What does it say, 30? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're. That was true. I had muted when you guys were all talking when I joined the channel. That's sorry for that. So Bats is here. On this deck here, we went for Dominions, 3 bills, now sending 700 coin. Now we have all
Yeah,
the
he's
mines, and it also has a 5 mines on the silver, no, copper mine. It actually trying
thing
to
is
squeeze with
with
another one there.
yeah, with Finland, torping trees is not that bad at all because your skirms cost your wheels that are skirms cost wood and your pikes cost wood, and you can just put your factories on coin to get what you need with coin. It is kind of hard to squeeze in some artillery, but for the rest of it, torping tree lines is completely fine.
Exactly, yeah, I agree. And coins coming in. We age up with the 2 villages, 2 cows. So it's just trying to account for the extra economy throughout the game, and you definitely pay off more than aging up with something else. I don't think there's any other good options. Maybe like 200 coin outpost is just not good enough. And I think
Some cities have 500 food, which is sometimes an option if you really want to get to fortress as fast as possible, but 2 settlers, 2 cows is simply the sweet spot. It gives you better villagers, better eco, and some food to gather faster. So yeah.
exactly. And also the Swedes normally will lose his villages running to torps around the map. In this case, it's completely safe, and actually having 2 more villages plus 2 cows actually you can. I don't actually think this is a good idea. If you actually do the math here, the decay on the cows is gonna consume about 40% of that cow there just by decay. Yeah, it's always
He
wise
probably wants
to
to go
take the 2
H4 as
villagers.
soon as he hits H3.
Right, so what you do is when you kill a cow like this, you take 2 villagers
Yeah, you
and
want
put them
some
in the
wheels on
cow.
it.
Yes. That you mitigate a bunch of the decay. So like you're killing 2 cows, like for example this torp can only gather from this cow, cannot gather from this cow at the same time. So killing 2 cows at the same time is kind of like not necessary here. And
Swedish
now he
torps
has
sometimes
and also he
require
has like
a
extra food here that he already have. He just need the coin. So actually having more food right now, unless he actually will sell some food for coin here. There was no rush to kill both cows. It's a small being like micromanaging his gameplay is just not like a big thing anyway. He was already aging anyway. I just missed that.
beat the bishop, so extra TC
Let's see what
allows him to
Joseph's
get
up
enough
to.
res for H4 as soon as he ages up.
Okay, Joseph's
Chosen
already
is still
building
far
his
from
7th
H3.
bank. That's good. He's already on 7 banks early on. I think that's pretty much what I really want to do. If I was going to play Dutch, I would play like this. I would go the banks first, all the way. And then with the coin from the banks alone, I actually wouldn't have nobody on coin no more. At this point, I just have everybody on food. But he's kind of lacking a little bit of coin because of the village production. He wants
Yeah,
to...
this is a good macro by Chosen.
Yeah, it is very resistant. And he wants to age up as well, so... He's right
And
in
as
the right.
always, Dutch is one of the cities that abuses the market the most, so even buying wood for the 6th and 7th bank is often the case and a pretty good option.
Let's see what's gonna age up with. I think it's gonna age up with the bishop. Exile Prince.
Oh, going for...
Interesting. So decided to go for a faster age up.
I think what he's gonna do now is put everyone on food and leave the banks to gather enough coin for age up, and the 25 wheels he has on food to gather enough for the age up. I still would rather age up with the TC, I believe, but
yeah, same.
We'll see, we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Can you see how many torps Batu has? If Batu torps at the wood line, he has some torps. Yeah,
he has 2 here, one another. He's building here, another one here. It's an 140 pop, so he has. I think it has 14 torps. Yeah, so each torp is 10 pop.
Yeah. But he is already halfway aging up, probably with 1k coin to get that mercantilism in, and he's already...
Logistician.
Oh, I think Sweden actually doesn't have 1k coin age up, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but...
Well, he got an arsenal and he got a pretty upgrade for Sweden, I think.
No, I meant to H4. I don't know.
Yeah, when you get a... all the logistician do in H4, I don't know.
The logistician in H4, I think, gives you 2 2 falconets, right? The
I'm not
Tycoon
sure.
is 1k coin. I think the Logistician is 2 falconets to h4. We'll see once he ages up.
Logistician is
Oh no,
one
it's the
fort
fort.
wagon.
It's a fort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
it's a
fort
fort.
wagon.
Interesting that he didn't go for the Papal Guard upgrade, which lets him research Darkel Pikemen for free, which is often a very good HF for Sweden, but I imagine we will not see Dark Pikemen this game if he's not willing to age up with Papal Guard. But we see him already shipping Greater Northern Forest.
Yeah, maybe he
His
wants
wood is
to
not
do
gonna be an
Haka
issue.
pellets. Haka level X Haka,
Yeah.
maybe. That could be a thing.
Skaram Haka is basically, yeah, Skaram Goon. Add on some culverins for the potential heavy cannons, and he's doing golden. Because at the early stages of the revolt, he will have a much better economy. It is true that Dutch will outscale after a long time, but depends on how Chosen plays it. Floating a lot of shipments right now. Did he ship Cav Combat? Yeah, he did, so it's most likely gonna be USA.
Comes the stable.
I think USA is by far the most picked revolt so far. Even though we didn't play too many games still, but it's very good on this map. It's very easy to learn, and it's quite powerful, so no surprise most people are picking it. But when something is that good and that often picked, it allows people like Batu to find something that he believes is a perfect counter to it. And we'll see. Maybe after this game people will not be blind picking Dutch on this map so much because they expect Finland counter pick, even though it's a blind pick. Very interesting.
But you can also do the South Africa revolt also.
Yes. This hinges on the belief that the opponent is just doing the USA and that he doesn't know or play South Africa. But again, South Africa against Finland would be an interesting matchup for sure.
Yeah, it would depend on the ability of their player to sort of adapt and change their strategy.
Yes.
Then that requires you to actually have practiced more than one
and-
revolt with the same sieve. Because normally you want to play one revolt per sieve, and you teach yourself only that. And then if you have to adapt, you have no wiggle room anymore because that's all you know.
For those who don't know, Batu is a heavy favorite in this simply from the gap in 1v1 elo. Batu is, I believe, like 600 elo above Chosen or something like that. So heavy favorite. But still, we saw someone like Lionheart who is similar elo to Batu lose to someone who is similar elo to Chosen. So in this tournament, nothing is like certain.
Yeah, so sort of. I think how much is Radovan? 1700 or something. I don't know if
I think it was like 1600, but yeah, like a good 400 elo below Lionheart. We already see Dutch spamming the routers, which will eventually become the Carbine Cav. He has 1.5 more minutes until he can attack Batu, and I believe he should attack as soon as possible. The problem is he will have pure Goon army mostly against a lot of skirms, which will be quite annoying for him. He should get some heavies most likely.
Let's have a look what Batu is up to. He's sending Fiend horses now. Even though on Finland you actually get this card, so I don't see the point of sending this now. But maybe he just wants that cap upgrade just yet, even though he just has no cap in the field. I think this card you don't even have to send right now. I don't see the point.
I think he doesn't want Revolt yet, but he wants to send a card. So he, like, because once you Revolt to Finland, there is nothing really you want to send that much. Like, USA desperately wants to send the Carbine Cav once they Revolt, but with Finland, you kind of have a lot of options. Like, you have an upgrade for your pikemen, for your skirms, rather. You can ship a fort and 4 blockhouses. You have a lot of options. You can go the economic route and let your Karolian Jaegers become normal villagers. There is a lot of options with Finland, but they are not like that crucial to the strategy, same as Carbine Cav. We see right now that Dutch is in comfortable score lead, like 3000 score already, much higher now that he revolted. But can we see when the
It's
Carbine
almost like
Cav is coming?
7,000 score. Is that 3?
Yeah. Batu is using his extra time to gather as much res as he can before revolting. Here we see the revolt coming in. He is stacking some Haka pellets, but can we see if they are guard?
This card
Because
is
if they're
really
not,
nice. instead of the Fiend horses. And then here you send Fiend horses.
Let's. Can we click on Hakapellat and compare it to the Carbine Cav once that comes in? Oh, he has the guard stack.
That's
We see.
38 damage, so it has almost twice as much HP and almost twice as
Yeah,
much
but
HP.
we need
and
to compare
damage.
it once the Carbine Cav comes in, because the pop will double for USA.
Yep.
I don't like that the fort is so close to
Very
base. He should put it much more aggressive. So yeah, Hakapellats are much stronger than these Cav, and they have that splash which will be a killer in these big numbers.
Right, but these guys are 1 pop, and these guys are
No, Carbine Cav are now 2 pop.
Alright, 2 pop?
Yeah, the Riotters are 1 pop, but once you send the card that transitions them into Carbine Cav, they become 2 pop.
Right,
That's why Dutch most likely has over 200 pop right now. We see Batu is on 116 and the Dutch is on how much? Yeah, 218. And Dutch is probably waiting for the church tax as well of the 20 blue guard. Let's see if
There
he's
we go.
he's floating 2k coin.
So many, much Cav, 89. Yeah, I'm not sure if you should be waiting because he's overpopped. What's the point of staying in his base?
Probably just ship the blue. Yeah, here comes the blue guard, probably from the fort, and let's go. Let's see what the Batu has massed so far, because I feel like he should be fighting by now.
Let's just put this into perspective of Batus because he's going to be defensive. He's going.
I love the base building he has. The blockhouses everywhere, the fort in the middle, not easily siegeable, and constantly shooting at the enemy.
Yeah,
He's getting an Imperial tech. Can we see? Is that Imperial Hakapellats that Batu is researching? It's being researched right now.
Yep.
Yeah, Imperial Drabants. So these Hakas will be absolutely insane. Look at those stats. They are absolutely destroying everything.
Oh, me.
And you just-
You don't really want to lose the Kargalian areas because they are your villagers, you know?
the good thing is they are created quite fast from the TCs and barracks as well, and you can train the batches of them. So you can remass them quite fast if you have the wood necessary. Oh, this is so bad to stack them like this against Drabants. Like the splash will absolutely demolish the goons, I feel like.
Yeah.
Is there
I
enough
don't know if
goons?
you
I
wanna
can't
be
even
here.
gouge. I don't know how many goons are left because of how stuck they are. And these are the skirms that are shooting them, not normal vills.
Let's have a look here.
Batu is doing a good job, I feel like, of taking shots at this big army, and already like half of these Carbine Cav has died.
Yep, he had 89, now he has 52.
And look at the score is much closer now. And yeah, but look at the economy from USA, it's just pure coin, so he's making some mercenaries that are in the tavern. And the factories are set to heavy cannons, but heavy cannons can't fight the Imperial Drabants.
Yeah, the Karelian Jaegers now, they can actually go back and gather wood, and you
Yeah.
can actually make more Karelians with the wood that you gather.
Yeah, and
from
they
themselves, so
train
they
so
pay for
fast, and
themselves. And you can also send
if
this
he-
card in. I want to see if this actually would be useful. Because you send
I think that would be
this,
good if you're playing like against South Africa maybe or something like that.
even
I feel like
here-
at this point, yeah, I think
even here,
Batu
he
is
needs,
in.
he needs a way to sort of make more units, because the Dutch will have the ability to do more. And if you lose your mass, then what you gonna do then? So you have to have a way
I
to
feel
sort of
like
collect resources.
Batu is already in a much better position simply because the USA simply has no answer for these Drabants. How does he ever kill them? Goons are one of the best unit types in the games, and he has an Imperial Goon. Not just any Goon, but a Hakapellat, a unit that is one of the best units to monocomp possible.
That would be a good upgrade.
But
as
it doesn't
well.
have market tax simply because they don't impact Karolian Jaegers, I believe. So
Really?
they gather wood at the same rate. It's a 0.75, no matter how many tax you have. So I imagine he didn't want to waste res on it.
Okay, interesting.
But look, he's double batching Karolians, quadruple batching his villager skirms, 80 Karolian Jaegers on wood. And yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna still have
if
some.
the USA can somehow delay this game by, I would say, maybe 10 minutes, and Finland runs out of coin and the berries, I think then
This
he
is
would
a
be in a
mistake
good
from
place.
Batu. He's actually
Yeah.
taking the trees from the torps.
Yeah, that is a misplay, but I still feel like there is enough trees to like
Yeah, it doesn't
go
matter.
around. He
This is
shipped, I
good.
think, the coin, yeah. So Batu shipped, I believe, 1600 coin, which will let him make quite a few Haka pellets, but it's not a solution to his dying economy, to so to say. Even though he's quite rich right now, his economy is not infinite. And we see Chosen sending the citizenship card, so he is able to make villagers now, but it is pretty slow. And how does he ever defend his base from these Haka pellets? They can just come in and take his factories. But we see something like a base trade coming on.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because you have two heavies there, and he has to address also the camo Gatling guns as well. They're gonna melt on those Karelian Jaegers here. But the
But I
Hakas,
feel like
I assume they're gonna take those factories.
oh, big pick on the heavies. I feel like this is much better for Batu. Simply the experience in playing much more this game. He knows when to go in, when to base trade, and we see Chosen being split, not knowing what to do. And probably, I would say Batu is almost certain to win this game at this point.
Correct.
The
yeah.
mass of Capella's, yeah, is simply unstoppable, I would say.
Yeah, he managed to
Chosen
split
positive.
his army very well and force his hand. He was in an impasse. He wasn't accomplishing much in here anyway. And if he doesn't address his base, he will lose the factories, and Batu will still be able to defend his base. So well played to Batu.
Yeah, he read his opponent perfectly. He played the build perfectly. Even getting unlucky with only spawning near two copper mines, he still made it look great. So imagine Finland on a map where you get like 4 coin mines.
Let's go. Let's get into it. So we have here the Dutch as the color pink. Here started Batu, Levturk, and we have on the northern side of the map, we do have Chosen playing on the color cyan here as the Brits. Okay, now that's an interesting match right here. I actually like this. I think Brits is one of the strongest. I think, in my opinion, if you play it correctly, you can go for USA. Is it Brits that has Canada, isn't it?
British have access to USA, Canada, South Africa, and Haiti, but he cannot go USA because he already played USA in this series.
Right. So you can only go Haiti or.
So yeah, Canada and South
I
Africa.
think Canada is good. I think he did Canada versus FUMP, didn't he?
Yes, he won with Canada in a pretty like easy game for him, I would say. Showed that Canada can and is pretty strong. Kinda strange that he's playing both of the civs. Batu saw him play against Fonf, but he believes that those are his strongest revolts and he wants to win with those. Batu is most likely gonna go for South Africa, so in the case that Chosen goes South Africa, we might be seeing a mirror, but I again expect Canada against South Africa. And what do you feel about that matchup?
I like Canada a lot because of the economy. You can pump a lot of units. And I think if you go to South Africa, it's going to be very interesting as well, because once you get the war wagons and you can actually manage to get like 10, 15, you're kind of in the game already, and you have the Gatling guns. So
Yeah, I think
it'll be an interesting match.
I think I favor South Africa in this matchup simply because Canada is kind of tied into going musketeers, whereas South Africa can do whatever. And I think going for war wagons is kind of bait in this matchup because you know your opponent is going pure musk and rockets, and while being useful against rockets, muskets will simply destroy the war wagons simply because of how strong they are. Like the Canadian fencibles, but to cause them invincibles because of how strong he thinks these musketeers are. So he will most likely go for something like skirms or maybe even artillery, which I think is a pretty good option against Canada, simply because the opponent will most likely not add any heavy cav for some time. But yeah, this will be an interesting game because it's an eco revolt against eco revolt. But again, the problem is one of the players is much higher than the other. So we will see how the macro and the micro faces off.
Correct. Yep, that's true. So you also have the Greenwich card sent first instead of actually building up a GP.
Oh, he built a TP and sent Greenwich.
What?
He built a
Oh.
TP and sent a GMT to one of the natives.
What does he want with the native here? Let's see.
I think
This
he doesn't
is-
want anything. He did this the same last game. He just builds it for the faster age up. But I think it's a mistake because Akans are one of the best natives in the game, even for economy, because they can ship you 5k coin mine and increase your gather rate, which is absolutely insane. And if you check the last card, it is a pretty unique card. It's something like a Fur Trade and Sublime Port, I believe. It's something like that. And some civs, I believe, can definitely do something with it. It's not something that you can just randomly research, but I think if you make a build around it, it's definitely something to look out for. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna see the coin mine if the game goes long.
Yeah, let's see. Batu's deck here. And 3 views. And bridging up with the Quartermaster.
Yeah, the 400 wood classic.
Eagle Bank. So an early bank here.
Yeah, Dutch is also one of Batu's main civs when he plays Supremacy, so he's very proficient at this early micro, at getting the right amount of food and wood. Look at it, he's already getting his second bank before 4:30. Like he's gonna start building it by now. Absolutely amazing from Batu. Like the build is so tight and so fast.
Especially that he actually got the first bank in H1. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the standard Dutch play, but it's not that easy to perform. So yeah, I think what Batu likes to do with South Africa also is to focus on mercenaries, because we will see once he ages up to H3 what he ages up with, because Dutch can often age up with the German contractor, which enables them some of the best mercenaries in the game, I believe. And I saw Batu test it a couple of times, and he said he kind of likes it, and he has the mercenary card in H3. So he might be going for the mercenary build with South Africa, going every villager on coin, getting like 11 banks and 2 factories, everything on coin, and just dishing out the mercenaries.
Yeah. Let's see what mercenaries you can make here. Into Desert Archers, Desert Raiders, Beverly Corsair, Ascari.
And the Royal Horsemen, I think we will be seeing Royal Horsemen. I know Batu loves that unit a lot, although it is maybe not good into pure Musketeer, but Batu is a big fan of those units. And we see the 5th van going up before 6 minutes. Like, this guy is absolutely insane.
Yeah, so
Much different from Chosen's macro.
He's scouting his base now. A little bit.
Dutch do have the ability to train envoys, which are pretty useful to just sit in front of the enemy base and you can see everything they're making. But so far it's just the standard British manner boom into spice trade. This is something Chosen likes to do on this map, because there is a lot of hunts, especially on the cliff to the left, which is pretty secure for him. So throughout the whole game he will be on hunts.
Can train scouts?
The envoys. Dutch can train train envoys. It's pretty useful to have a sight of enemy base in this game mode. And Dutch can just make a couple of envoys and sit them in enemy base. Because the only way to kill it is if you idle your villagers into a TSC. So I feel like it's quite worth to just put a couple of envoys across the enemy base.
Steel traps coming in hot, coming in hot. Trap on church, getting steel traps in fancy school early. I mean, isn't like this kind of cards you can always send them later.
Yeah,
I don't
even
like
last game we
these,
kinda didn't like it, but Chosen likes it. He won while doing this, so he probably believes that it's decent.
It's okay
We
to
will
send
see.
it, not now. You wanna send other things, I suppose. 1,000,
Yeah.
10,000 wood, something like that. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't need
Or
those resources.
use the British Age Villager card. I think that's also a pretty good card, but he doesn't have it in his deck. We do see the terraced houses, which we'll probably see an appearance. He likes that card. We saw yesterday how good it can be with Brits once you revolt.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Although I doubt he will go Haiti.
The houses are
Like it.
amazing.
Yeah, but he's gonna be clicking up, so it's probably gonna be the bishop. But if he's feeling crazy, he might do the mercenary contractor.
Okay, Batu's on 5 banks. Sending the church card now. Straight away with the coffee beans. Or the coffee
Yeah, and
trade.
at this point he can just buy wood for the necessary banks. Although he is chopping. Yeah, he's gonna be H3, 7 banks. Can we see what he's aging up with? So it is the bishop TC.
There we go. That's the 7th bank. 6th bank, no, 6th bank. And that's the 7th.
And the 7th, yeah. Insanely fast, I would say. I doubt most players who will be playing Dutch in this tournament can replicate this level of precision with the build, myself included. But yeah, that's the benefit of being high relo and playing the game for more. But it's not everything. Like we saw an upset very early with Radovan beating Lionheart. We might see another one here because British is for sure on similar economy, even with 7 banks, simply because of the manor bomb. I imagine British is over 50 villagers by now. No,
Yeah,
only 44. I feel like
almost twice.
yeah. But he is macroing. He's gonna click up to h4 immediately upon hitting h3, which is pretty good. Probably gonna be bishop age up from him, yeah. And then he's probably gonna age up with the tycoon for the 1k coin for the mercantilism that we see basically every game. Securing the forward coin, yeah, pretty good.
Town center be able to make villages from those. Okay, Batu also getting his own town center here, protecting the.
Especially, yeah. Look at that cliff. The cliff is so secure with that DC there.
Good, that's very annoying, yeah.
How do you even kill culverins that are on that hill? You have to snipe them with your own culverins. Because it's completely, yeah, it's completely enclosed and there is so much res on that hill. Between the coin mines and the Huns.
Yeah, you can still go here, but
yeah, unfortunately we don't see any native action, but we see that the British player has taken the second native for TP. I imagine it's only for the GMT faster age up and research, but yeah, hopefully we see some of the native techs. Yoruba is purely combat focused, yeah.
Of itself. Interesting, maybe we make 20 and then send this.
Yeah, the Yoruba are actually insane natives, but they're like mercenaries. I mean, Minutemen, they lose hit points, but they are very strong for what they cost. Like, I believe the second unit, the Yoruba warrior, or whatever it's called, has like 55 range resist, 55 melee resist. It's an insane unit.
I gotta send this.
But to see there is barely any economic upgrade. They have a wood, I think, upgrade. That's the only economic upgrade they got.
So this one walls grants 1 XP and gates grants 10 XP upon being built. So you can sort of wall like crazy and get a lot of XP.
Yeah, we see the terraced houses coming in first and he's just immediately batching 20 vills from them. We see the manors producing.
Yes, and the terrace. Now double bank. You also have mercantilism, yep. And
very, very standard bridge play and very, very good. And this is the power of bridge, I would say, in this revolt, because he still can choose what to revolt. He's not locked into anything. Like
can go to economy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they paused.
Wait, I think you paused.
I paused?
Who paused? No, Batu paused. It just says you.
Yeah, Batu already said that, so that I cannot read anymore. What
yeah, Canada is very good for natives, I see, but he will most likely simply use it for the musketeers, and if the game extends, probably add on the natives. Batu, I asked Batu, he told me chosen pause and has been gone for quite a while, so it's probably gonna be a longer pause. So nothing to do but wait, I guess.
Can I ask the map?
Savannah. It's It is in ranked pool in 1v1s, but it's different when it's set to treaty mode.
Yeah, I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, it's a good map, I would say. A lot of people like it because I know a lot of people don't like most African maps, but Savannah is, I think, beloved. Rich in
There is
hunts.
another one I got the name.
Can you see the British card sent? Because last time when he did this, he didn't send the Musketeer combat, and I kind of flamed him for that. But yeah, he's again didn't send it. I would much prefer to send that over like fencing school.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, he did send advanced arsenal, which is something. But yeah, if we're going pure Musk, we should be using the Musketeer combat card definitely.
Did he send the training time upgrade on the church?
Probably not yet, but he has eco to send it whenever he wants. It's 350 coin, I believe. So yeah, he will get that. Still 3 minutes until the timer unpauses. So yeah, there is a lot more to this game to be done, and we're just waiting for the pause.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom then. I'll look into Batu's view here.
Yeah,
Can we see which card he sent? The Dutch?
he went to toilet, so we can't see which cards the Dutch sent. But I imagine what Dutch usually does is get their 3 wheels into 700 wood into bank wagon to get the first 5 banks, into church card to get the tech that lets you make 2 more banks. He makes those by simply getting food or buying the wood, and after that he just goes Cav combat if he's going USA because they get so many goons, and after that it's the bank upgrade card. I can't remember what it's called, like tulip speculation or something, and 2 factories. Bank XP is crazy for Dutch.
It looks
can
like
often,
he's
like-
sending Cav combat after. It's after.
I mean,
the
yeah, you can
factory.
send it before or after it.
This time.
Yeah. And once he revolts to South Africa, most of his, every single shipment he sends will be economic. They have access to 2 banks, which is insane. They have an access to a capital that gives them 2 more banks and other capital upgrades. They have access to a diamond mine, which has 100 coin to be mined. So yeah, if he's gonna
Well,
focus on mercenaries, we will probably
100
see
You mean
100,000.
Yeah, because 100 would have been weird.
No, I think I said 100,000. So yeah,
I heard just 100. Maybe I bugged out. But since we're in the pause, might as well do this comment. I find this tournament to be extremely original compared to the usual either completely treaty or either completely 1v1.
okay, I see someone in chat confirming that you were correct. So yeah, I misspoke.
Yeah, why it
Yeah,
happens.
but I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty unique. Like revolting as a mechanic is also pretty unique. Sadly, we don't have revolts for all the seals, but yeah, quite a few of them are still here. Like all of the European ones and the Mexico. Although we have only seen Mexico once, and it was
It's
pretty
nice.
bad showing.
It's a nice change of pace since rather than the usual like 10-minute fight game or like the more constant fighting or the very slow treaty game, this time we get a bit of an in-between. So I think this is interesting.
Yeah,
to
I
watch.
think 15 minutes is exactly like the sweet spot. Oh, and the game unpaused perfectly.
Came back just in time.
Okay, let's remove
Yeah,
Batu's
it-
perspective here. Using a
Can we check if
foundry.
the British player
I'm
has
coming from-
taken any native text?
Yeah,
Oh, so we see the coin
I
mine,
know
yeah.
that he was taking one of them, which is,
Yeah,
I think it
the
does
coin
make
mine.
your infantry move 5% faster or something like that. Maybe they cost
No,
less.
he
or something.
researched the coin mine, and he will probably take
Yeah,
the
he
other one
gets a
up
gold
later
mine.
once he revolts.
Oh yeah, this is the one that makes them. Oh yeah,
It's really good.
20% train fast and they 5% movement speed. That's pretty much like fencing school they have sent. So
Compare this to
I mean,
fencing
it's hard,
school,
yeah.
to the church upgrade. It's
Yeah, I mean, probably with church card, fencing school, and this tech, like his musketeers are gonna be flying out of those raxes.
right.
That is if he remembers to get all of it. But we see that the final batch of terrace houses is coming in, so he's probably gonna be at 99 villagers by very soon. And yeah, look at this, 94 vills. While
And,
Batu is on 7 banks.
Yeah, Bato has taken this now and also getting the gold mine for himself.
Yeah, we see from his macro, he's probably gonna be focusing a lot on the mercenaries simply because of how much coin he has. Or he will be investing a lot
Sea
into
power.
cool variants, which is good. You can always bet that British will be using rockets.
So the steam power is sending that here on the factory.
Yeah.
Here
two
comes the
side
gold.
stables for the Dutch, like two stables at the bottom left, or no, bottom right rather.
1 more minute.
Yeah, he's blocking the
Yeah,
entrance
we-
here, remember? We're talking about this
Yeah,
entrance
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So this is like Bato's gallery. There's nothing nobody
Yeah.
can do here. You're gonna have to siege this to actually get in. And if, like you said, if you actually manage to put some curves here, there's not a place you want to fight. I like how he Chosen puts his TC very forward, and especially see if they can actually. They will meet very close
Yeah,
in the middle.
I think Canada has much better tempo at the start of this. Depending, we see that Batu is sending the mercenary card and is putting all of his factories on coins, so he will be spamming mercenaries quite fast. I believe that Dutch have an option to make the Royal Horsemen from their stable after this card is sent. So if he's making stables, that means he will be making Royal Horsemen, not Reuters or Haas. So
Okay,
we'll see
Chosen
how
has
those
the
fare
gold
against
to
the
Canada.
Canadian musketeers.
And the game is on. They can attack. They have 1 minute to revolt now. Bato has, and I think Chosen is taking a more.
Yes.
He's not going so aggressive. So he's sending Ansibles.
Absolutely insane card. Makes them better than guard musketeers, researches it for free, gives them more range, and on top of that makes them cheaper. And gives them a very nice skin that we will soon see.
Which is interesting because historically Fencibles have been militias compared to regulars, so it's funny to see that
Absolutely
in AoE 3 they are
beautiful
better.
skin.
It is. It's a very good skin. Very Napoleonic skin. I like it.
Okay.
So we see, Chosen taking up quite a bit of a score lead, but if we switch to Batu, we will probably see the Royal Horsemen. Yeah, Royal Horsemen and Horse Artillery, that is Batu style. Everyone on coin, just a few people on wood, and these musketeers, although pretty strong, will be blown away by this Horse Artillery. And because we are Dutch and we only need 50 villagers, we have a big pop for our military. So if Chosen is not fast, he might meet 150 pop of artillery and Royal Horsemen. So I feel like he needs to move fast.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
The longer it goes, the better for Batu. He has a better economy. He has all the banks, right? So
Yeah.
and we did talk about the horse artillery, how he prefers that. So let's see how he goes in action. But Chosen's going right into his DC here, and I should be able to take those banks as well. The banks is quite exposed, so I think we will force Batu's hand here to actually make a play. Here comes the horse artillery. Here comes also the 2 banks from the South Africa Revolt. And
now we will see,
we're gonna have the fires here. The fire shots here. Look at the strike that's happening with
No,
the
the
infantry.
musketeers, I feel like should be walking on the horse artillery. There is simply nothing to defend them.
Exactly. He
They should
has
not be scared.
coverings as well. He could have just come and take them all just by brute
Look at
force.
this.
He's just playing two
Yeah,
safe
you blink and
coverings
there
over
is
here.
so many more. Now there is two batches of them. Of the Royal,
Yeah,
no,
there's a
3
Royal
even.
Horsemen here. So these units is like, oh, they are the heavy cavalry from France.
What me and Batu call them is trainable Spahi. That's what we call them. So they have more HP than H4 Spahi, I believe, and they have a little less damage, I guess, but same splash, and yeah, they fulfill a similar role. 400 coin for a Spahi, pretty much. Oh, bad to be caught out like this. All of our artillery going down.
Very bad position for the artillery now. The blue guard is coming. The horsemen on the side. The horse artillery in the middle. Not all of the culverins are dead, but this is a bad spot for Brit, I think.
You see, but he's shipping the 4 war wagon shipment simply because he doesn't even need more economy. He's contented with this, so he just wants to survive this and feels like that if he survives this, he will probably win the game. But look at the British economy. He's just triple batching these musketeers. I feel like he should be making forward.
Another rocket completely exposed that's gonna get killed immediately by the Red Lancers.
Yes, because he
He
has
ship-
he managed to put get all his villagers back with the terraces already, so he doesn't really care.
No,
much
Canada
about-
doesn't lose villagers.
Oh, he doesn't?
Canada keeps the villagers.
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
So he used the terrace houses to just double batch 40 villas and go from like 50 to 90 really fast.
Okay, but if
But
he
we
does
see that he
lose them,
shipped the
in this guy's
Yeah,
can
he
be quite
shipped the
lucky
cars
as
that-
well.
He shipped the card that allies him with 3 natives, so he can make 5 different native tribes right now because he's allied with 2 and shipped the card that gives him 3. So Batu is Dutch and has 150 military pop, but Canada has, like, I believe, around 65 native units without counting the ones on the map. So with those two, Canada has around
Yeah, but he
100 pop
needs to
worth
start
of
making
natives.
the Akans and
Yeah.
the other units.
Yeah, but we see a triple batch of Cherokee skirmishers coming in. They will not be doing much against heavy cav and artillery, but there are Nutka there that are basically Rodleros that can help against the horse artillery quite a bit. And the economy of Canada can definitely sustain this, but we see a big mass of Royal horsemen coming in.
And again, the rocket's getting lost.
Let's see what he does
I
with
feel
the
like the
covers
rocket, yeah, the losing the rocket is not a problem. You just have to kill the horse artillery, because if you kill the horse artillery, I feel like the musketeers will destroy the Royal horsemen. So just spamming musketeers and culverins is, I think, better than rockets. Because what do the rockets do? Rockets are just a worse culverin at this point because they don't kill the horse artillery that fast. So yeah, we see the power of horse artillery just kiting back with, I believe they have like 3 speed or something, so they're almost as fast as an infantry unit, and he's just pulling back, shooting, pulling back, shooting.
He's
Even
bull-tricking them with
yeah, bull tricking
he's
with the amazing
the
micro
Royale.
Batu, but still I like this position for Canada quite a bit, but the problem is Canada will soon run out of hunts. I feel like he's on 2 to 3 hunts left more. And once that happens, he will, although those are giraffes, so they contain a lot of food. Still, I would like more horse artillery from Batu, I feel like.
Yeah, he has a lot of pop. The resource is not flowing as much as you would expect.
Yes, this is not that good because he simply couldn't ship the capital upgrade and other things he wants. He was forced to ship the war wagons and probably Wanderlust to upgrade his units. Yeah, he shipped the 100,000 coin mine. A pretty funny card, to be honest, but I feel like Chosen should be walking into base and killing these banks and not bothering with a TC. Like, if you kill a bank, he will need to rebuild it, and Batu is fully on coin. He will have to buy, and then it will take up so much of his time to micro again for all of that, while we just sack our musketeers to take down. Although Batu might be going for a big raid, that would be terrible for Canada. Yeah, Batu realizes that my opponent is like fully here, nothing here, and nothing to defend the villagers, and
But that's the same
he
thing on
pulls
the other
back.
side as well. Like, it's not easy
He's
to
turning
go
back.
into that
yeah,
side.
but imagine if he just put a couple of the horsemen to go raid. But yeah, Batu pulls back, finds another great flank on the artillery. I feel like, yeah, he spots the artillery at top, dying. Needs to either start protecting his artillery or stop making it at all. Going pure goons could, not pure goons, but accompanying these musketeers with the British goons would be pretty good, because what is there? There is heavy cav and artillery, and goons are pretty good against both of those.
He just doesn't. He just not doing a very good job protecting the coverings with so many musketeers. He
Yeah.
just,
Oh, insane volleys.
Insane volleys there, yeah.
But I feel like if he makes smaller groups of musketeers and puts them on stagger mode, they can walk at these horse artillery, because we have advanced arsenal in, and that lets us walk our musketeers at 4.4 speed. look at the stats of these natives that Canada gives you. Absolutely insane. Batu shipping 2 TCs followed by the tech that lets him make 30 CDBs. So I feel like if Batu gets to a point where he has all the 30 CDBs and he's on estate, so he doesn't have to move out of his base, he cannot lose. Because at that point, the Dutch, South Africa economy is simply unstoppable. He can go, dare I say, pure horse artillery.
Yeah, the coin on the map is sort of dried out. We still have this one here. But
Oh,
it's
this is
not
good. I
popular.
like that he's slowly transitioning into mills because you don't. Oh, he's even shipping the 15 elks. But yeah, look at the amount of units Canada has. I feel like if he split his army, because Royal Horsemen are 4 pop, Horse Artillery are 5 pop, so you need to split your units so he can be everywhere. And look at the power of this Horse
that's
Artillery when you have big. They lock on. Every shot is so painful for Chosen. Look at this. And the Horse Artillery is fast enough where they can just close the gap between them and the Culverins and just absolutely annihilate them. This is like watching the tanks fight Napoleonic soldiers. But the natives are proving quite useful. They are
Same
fighting against the
everything
cav.
that is in there.
Yeah, but I feel like
He's
he
not
should
even
be
really
going
thinking,
musketeers
'cause-
and guns.
You're sending the card for Yoruba that
needs-
doubles the Yoruba, but you have no Yoruba in the field.
Oh, that. Oh, wait.
Oh, he
Look at
has
the stats
6
of
and
these
I got
Yoruba. They're
12.
actually insane. Try and click on a horseman. The horsemen are the important part about Yoruba. Does he have any of those?
This?
I think he's training some Yoruba horsemen. If you can check the stats on that one. The one that near the trees. Below they're fighting. They are fighting right now.
The Yoruba horsemen. They're
Yeah,
fighting
they're
the
getting in on
cannons.
the artillery.
They're killing the cannons. Blue.
It's the teal cav. Yeah, look at the range resist on these units. Absolutely insane. Melee and ranged.
Oh, but that's
Absolute tanks.
it's a Ghana.
I mean, you say that, and right next to them is the Royal Horsemen with much better stats.
Yes, but these units also attack faster. Don't attack faster the lower they are. Like at low HP, they start hitting with 1 rate of fire, and also they're again popless and quite a bit cheaper than the Royal Huss.
Also,
not
they
Royal
have the
Huss.
equivalent of adrenaline, basically.
Yeah, you see their HP lowers because they're like Minutemen, and the lower the HP is, the faster they
After
attack.
they
But
attack.
again, we see Canada shipping 22 skirms against someone who is making 2 unit types that counter skirms instead of switching into goons.
It'll be a problem.
I think he's.
Or
I think he's
even
trying to
like
outlast-
Canada revolting by bridge gets the Royal Guard Huss, which are also pretty good.
It's getting creative.
They are yeah, so he can go to up to 104 villagers, I guess.
Is it really the time to go
Oh.
with even more vills?
I don't think it matters. The problem is how he's gonna address his military. The eco is already good, so it doesn't really matter. The problem
Yeah,
is
I think
to
the
make it
problem
the
is-
right composition. The
Yeah.
wrong composition.
Chosen needs to go raid because Batu's units are so heavy pop, even though he has like so much space as Dutch. Look at this. He has like what 50 units at max here. And if he splits like 20 musketeers to go into his base and siege that, a couple of horsemen have to go back and answer that. But if they're all at the same place, I feel like Batu
That's
just
gonna hurt,
wins.
man.
Oh my god.
He put everything together.
And Batu is, yeah. Batu definitely has the micro to split these shots. Look at this. Like, all
We're
of his volleys
witnessing
are
a
insane.
Napoleon moment.
Massacre.
Batu is
Cobras are
beating his
just
enemy
being
by
playing
sheer
dumb
micro.
They're
Yeah.
dancing there. It's completely desperation move.
The problem, yeah, look at the food. Canada simply, why do we have 50 people on the wood? We need to transition
So
more
bad,
people
Just
onto
give me
food.
anxiety. Oh boy,
Yeah.
that hurts. Yeah, that's a good plan. Will actually be split the army. That's also another option if he doesn't, if he still wants to stick with the musketeers, because his economy is so good. Like
Yeah, he has 50 people on wood. Like, take
It's so
30 of those away
forgiving.
and put them on mills. Yeah. Like, he can definitely, like, sacrifice, I would dare say, like, 100 musketeers to take down the factory. Like I think that's something that Batu cannot do because Batu has to keep his army together.
He's sending elks. I don't
But-
know if that's something you want to send.
Like even these natives that he can train, Nutka, they are spearmen that have insane siege. So if he can send like 20 or 30 of those, I can't remember how many he can make, to just go around and start sieging the banks and the factories,
You know something
Batu
that
will
I've
have
we've
to
seen
answer.
before done. Once you have a lot of food, yeah. If you have like excess of food, you send the pioneers. Yeah, you can actually fight with these guys. He doesn't need here at the
Yeah,
moment. He's not
I mean, he
not-
doesn't even have the market tax for his villagers, so I would be cautious about using these villagers into fight, especially against artillery and heavy cav.
Yeah,
I
no.
think this is just chosen not knowing how to counter this unit composition,
Yep. He's probably like a
which is
unit
understandable. It's something you don't see basically ever in your standard game. Like
heavy
when do you
cav.
see heavy cav and cannon units that both lose to dragoons? But unfortunately, chosen just
Oh, nice.
not
pressure from
making
Cav
this whole
there.
big,
Those
big
little
pop.
bit very,
But,
very...
look at the horde artillery in these numbers. They are just destroying everything.
Yes, there's just too many of them.
Yeah, and once these heavy Royal Horsemen move into our reveal lines and we get idled, I feel like that's the end of the game. The score is double for Chosen, but you need to take account that's Blood Bladders that increases the score by 50,000, so yeah.
Wow.
Another 2-0, but valiantly fought battle by Chosen, I would say.
Yeah, he put a good show here, that's for sure. It lasted for 30 minutes and there was some back and forth, but I think like you said, he didn't know how to counter the units and he just got stuck. And he put some pressure here, took down the town center, but yeah, like
I feel like,
look at how
yeah.
much resources CCU Battle has available. Some great amount of resources.
But
Should have-
simply doesn't need that. He has 100,000 coin mine in his base, the rest can go on estates, and his whole army is coin based. Like a bit of wood, yes, but you have infinite wood on this map, or you can just put your factories. And yeah, look at he hasn't collected food
One
for
second,
how
I'm
long?
just taking
I
the
would say
screen.
like ever since he revolted, he didn't need a single point of food.
All the wood he needs is for the artillery.
Yeah, the horse artillery, and I think he can legit just keep buying the wood even at the max. 100 wood is I think 250 coin, which is at max pop completely fine for South Africa. We see Batu is not even that heavy on the wheels. He didn't train that many CDBs because he simply didn't need to. His economy is already good enough to sustain his max pop army, and he was slowly but surely pushing Canada back.